And in fact, you've said that these are examples of religion masquerading as science under the guise of mathematics. Do you want to elaborate on that at all?
Yeah, well, that comment in particular was not so much about the multiverse, but it was more about theories for the early universe, where there are quite a lot. You know, there's like the straightforward one, which is the Big Bang. Like, so the universe came out of kind of a singularity, or it might have been a little bit, not quite a singularity, but something pretty close by, where quantum gravity was important. But then people have come up with all kinds of other ideas, like there might have been a previous phase of the universe which then collapsed, and it didn't quite form a singularity, and then it started expanding again. So this is called a big bounce. Or it could have been something else, you know, it could have been an infinite period of time in which not much happened, and then at some point the universe decided, oh no, I'll start expanding. So this is another idea. Then there is, for example, the Hawking-Hartle idea, that's a no boundary proposal, that actually the beginning of the universe, there was no time, there was just space, and then some part of that space turned into time.
Are you saying of all of these different ideas that in some sense they're all proposals that we don't have any evidence for, and therefore in that sense they're seeking to use the mathematics behind the theory to give the impression that we really have described the phenomenon, and it's a religious idea in that sense? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, what I'm trying to say is that they're telling a story about what could have happened.
Yeah.
And normally, if you write it down in words, everyone would say, but yeah, it's just a story. But because they write it in mathematics, you can get it published in a scientific journal. Then it looks like science. But it isn't really, because there's no evidence backing those things up. There's no data that we have from that period, and it's actually quite questionable that we'll ever have any data. So I don't think that we'll ever figure out which of those stories is correct. To me, they're like creation myths.